Sausage McMuffin with egg, sausage McMuffin with egg. Egg McMuffin, egg McMuffin. 2 for $5, 2 for $5. Wake up, it's time for breakfast at McDonald's. Mix and match your favorite breakfast sandwiches right now for just $5. Get 2 savory sausage McMuffin with egg sandwiches, or 2 classic egg McMuffin sandwiches, or 1 of each. Dreams do come true. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Limited time only. Single item at regular price.
Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome, everybody, to Somewhere in Vegas here on blogtalkradio.com and also on Spreaker.com, our new home. I'm Mark with a Q. I'm your host. I am very privileged to have the star of an up-and-coming History Channel series that's going to be starting on February the 10th. Really great guy he has. He's come from the stuntman and motorcycle racing world to become a custom fabricator out in North Carolina. He was just out here for SEMA, which was a really great, huge event. His new show, Toymakerz, is going to come out February the 10th on the History Channel. We have David Ankin on with us right now. How are you doing, David?
Doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing great. We were talking a little bit right before we went on air about the fact that you were out here for SEMA doing some publicity with the History Channel, and obviously, their motor block basically on the channel is, I think, one of the most popular parts of their programming as well. We're talking about the fact that a lot of the History Channel stars were out there doing this big huge party, and there was big huge promotion for it over at SEMA. I mean, how was it for you to kind of be out there with the guys?
You know, it was amazing. You know, I've been going to SEMA for years, and you know, I was involved with Velocity the last couple of years, so it's a different feeling. You know, so to come out there with the History Channel and A&E networks, and we're also on FYI this year as well, was amazing. It's truly a family. I mean, you know, most of the senior management's been there over 20 years. The other shows were amazing. I mean, we hung out, we talked, we shared experiences and, you know, the trials and tribulations of a TV show and business, you know. So it was truly more humbling than anything else, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about, you know, SEMA was just a few weeks ago, and we're talking about how big and how crazy it has been since you first went to SEMA, your first time around. I mean, the ability to see different customized parts and to kind of get some ideas on what's been going on in terms of the technology. And as well, how is it for you to kind of look at some of the vehicles that they have or some of the performance parts you have and kind of get, I guess, for the lack of a better term, motors running in your head for ideas in terms of some of your creations?
Well, you know, for me, SEMA's instrumental for a lot of reasons. Number one, there's a lot of incredible builders throughout the country that never get any recognition, and they show up at SEMA, and they're just amazing. But more so the products. I mean, you know, I might have something in my head I want to do, but it's you know, you're almost looking for one of the brands you're dealing with to be exploring the same thing. Like this year, Precision Turbo, I'm building a big twin turbo car, and the turbos are visible. So usually you hide the turbos under the hood. Well, it just so happens, and so you want a mirror image turbo, and the turbo company I use doesn't have mirror image turbos. I walked into their booth, and what did they just introduce? But mirror image turbos. So, you know, it's not even, it's just collaborating with a bunch of other people that think just like you do, and making your ideas come together, making their ideas come together. They might be wanting to put something out. You have an idea to make that happen. So it's just a great collaboration around a bunch of deerheads that all think the same way.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk a little bit about how you got started. I mean, you know, like I said, you were a stuntman and a motorcycle racer before you went into the customization field. I mean, how did that come about? Was that something that you've always had a passion for?
Yeah, you know, back in the day, and you know, that was way back in the day. I mean, you know, back then we didn't have, you were at, let's say you were working at Six Flags or, you know, wherever you happened to be working in a theme park doing live stunts, and you had to fix your vehicle every day to do that trick 5 or 6 times a day. So you had to figure out how to build it, make it stay together, how to last, how to do the trick that you were supposed to do. and that was and I really enjoyed doing it. And then before long, or before the show would even start, the stunt coordinator would ask you to do a trick, and you had to figure out how to build a vehicle that would not only stay together but be safe and do the trick. So it was a big passion of mine, something I love to do, and just something I grew into, to be honest. It was never meant to be a business. I just love to do it. So.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting you mentioned that. I mean, I believe there was a stuntman this past year was duplicating one of Evel Knievel's stunts on his the same bike that he had actually done that. I believe it was the History Channel thing, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, you're talking about Travis Pastrana. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's interesting. I mean, back in the day, I mean, you went with what you had, but nowadays obviously the motorcycles are quite lighter. And the modifications are a little bit easier to make, and we were talking about that off air. That there is a lot of technology now that you can customize parts a lot quicker and a lot more efficiently. I mean, how was it for you to kind of see that transition over from, having to use what you have now to try to go to what you have, what technology we have now, and making things a little bit easier?
Yeah, for me, it's completely a different thing. You bring up Travis when he did that. He was on a completely full suspension, full brakes, everything worked. He had no issues whatsoever, and made the jump look easy. Where Evel Knievel had nothing. He just literally went out there by the seat of his pants. He didn't have any way to he had no way to calculate. He didn't care. He just grabbed a hold of the throttle and jumped. So Travis almost made it look easy and took the fun out of what that was. And I laughed as man. If he would have done it on what Evel Knievel jumped it on, it would have been impressive. And then Travis is an amazing man. I mean, he can do it all. I mean, he really can. But technology almost made it too easy for Travis. Where in my world, same thing with building a car. We don't have the time, especially when you're doing a show, to sit and hand build every inch of the car anymore. So you have to use CNC machines. Yeah, and not only that, but it's the quality's better. You can get real precise. You don't have to take a week to build something. You can build it in a couple hours. So there's a lot of things that come into play. But, as far as technology, as far as safety, about far speed, all that stuff is a whole another world right now. I mean, it's amazing what you can do with the technology that's out there today and the products that are out there today.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, and obviously your shop does a lot of that. I mean, does a lot of customizing, a lot of great vehicles as well. I mean, how did the show come about? Was that something that they approached you about?
No, it's something that we talked about on and off for years. I said no for a long time. I really didn't want to do it, but my shop does a lot of OEM stuff, just like everybody else. You take a Camaro and you throw a Pro Charger on it or something like that, or a Mustang, but we hand build the chassis, the body, the suspension, you name it, we build it. So, but how it comes about really is just trying to figure out to build a brand. For me, anyway, I wanted to build a brand. And this be my last hurrah in life, and it's an hour-long commercial for your brand. So you develop the brand, and what a perfect way to do it. I get to do what I love to do. I get to surround myself with people that I like and admire and want to grow all of us. So that's really how it comes about for me. I just wanted to build a brand and have an hour-long commercial for our brand. And, the fame has got nothing to do with it, and I just be able to make a living doing what I love to do,
Yeah, I mean, tell me a little bit about your team. Obviously, really diverse bunch of characters as well. Tell me a little bit about the team that you work with.
It's funny. I laugh all the time. I call us a team of misfits. My partner, David Young, is retired. He sold a big defense contracting company, never knew anything about cars whatsoever in his life, was very, very successful in his life. And that ended up being my partner. And then the actual shop itself is just a team of misfits. I mean, my main fabricator, him and I do all the fabricating, and he came from the Cup world. I mean, he put bodies on trucks for years, and he can fabricate anything. He's done all kinds of, race cars and drag cars and Cup cars. I mean, he's just very knowledgeable. My welder is truly a guy that welding one day, and he just is absolutely amazing at it. And Billy is just, he's been around the racing world his whole life. So Billy is just a great guy that can do a little bit of everything. Ashley, it was a waitress of mine for 3 or 4 years that I particularly didn't like because she was just an annoying waitress that wanted to take my order. She ended up being my assistant, and that's it. That's the only thing going on in my shop. And we don't have a huge crew. We do it all ourselves. And let me tell you something. I'd put my team against anybody on the planet. We're so well diverse that, they get it. My whole team gets it. They can do anything in the shop, from plunge a toilet to build a 200-mile-an-hour drag car. We don't, it's what we do. It's our passion, and we all share the same passion.
Yeah, I'm curious. A question just popped in my head, and I'm interested in your opinion on it. I mean, are you seeing a lot more female customers coming in? I mean, are you seeing that there are a lot more women that are your age nowadays?
Let me tell you something. More and more all the time. It's amazing to me. My inbox is full of them. And matter of fact, this coming weekend, I have a race I've been challenged to by a fan that I met, a year or two ago, and we became friends. And he does his big VW thing. There's a whole class of just girls racing, and to me, that's just awesome. I mean, because not only that, it's family. I see a lot of families. I mean, it's family based now. It's it isn't the guy coming home begging his wife to go. It's family based. The women are getting involved. The guy's got a car, the woman's got, or the woman's got a car, and the guy's helping them. Another good friend of mine, she does the racing, and the boyfriend's her pit crew. I mean, that's, to me, I mean, it's a lifestyle that I hope never dies.
Yeah, I mean, it's just great to be able to see that's coming around, and that obviously expands your customer base in terms of that as well. So it's great to be able to hear that's the situation, that's the case. I mean, it's just crazy to be able to see. Also there's a little bit more of a nostalgia now to go for some of the older cars versus what's out on the market now. I mean, it's hard to think that how are we going to look at fabricating a car in the future with some of the cars that are coming out in the new millennium as well. I mean, how's it for you to kind of see where technology has it? I mean, is there a nostalgia factor in terms of a lot of the builds that you have?
Well, what's funny to me, if you look at Camaro, they're doing a 74, any of Dodge, they've all taken a Camaro from the old days. Now they've remodeled it today, trying to get the youth involved. I think the old timers like myself, I remember a day when a 455, 425 horsepower motor was an animal. Nowadays that's a good 6-cylinder. Off the shelf. So, technology has changed. I think the youth has changed. What they like, the turbo stuff, the supercharged. We're back in the day we were doing big screw blowers. Now they're not. They're running pro chargers under the hood. Everything's hidden. And it's all computerized. It's all dialing your car in and setting a tune-up and traction control. And it's really amazing. It's the same exact thing, just in a different light. We used to worry about cams and carburation. Now we're worried about tune-ups and traction control. And, it's just changing with the times and seeing what the youth loves. I mean, to me, I don't have a sound system in my car. I have an exhaust system and a big cam. Kids today don't think that way. So.
Yeah,